So let's introduce Patrick, Kersten, who will bring the panelists to you. And let's sit back and listen. Remember to keep those questions coming if you'd like them for any of our previous speakers and also the current panel as well. Patrick, let's hand over to you, sir.
Welcome to the panel discussion with representatives of some of our great LLPA members. With them, we will discuss why it is so important to develop the skills of your employees and why measuring the results are so important. Before I give the word to Michael Jackson to take over the conversation, just a brief introduction how LLPA and its members can support you in your learning journey. For this, LLPA has developed a set of learning services, from instructor-led training by our members in virtual or physical classrooms to online learning in one of our almost 200 customer-branded Skills Academy portals, and the combination of this in a wide variety of blended virtual programs. And of course, supporting services just like assessments, nurturing, and mentoring. But to connect all these services and to create oversight in the field of all offerings, we have designed the Cloud Certification Circle as a framework for your learning journey and the learning journey of your students. And the Cloud Certification Circle consists of 3 steps. Step 1 of the circle is about training in any form, as I just mentioned, whether it's online or classroom training. Step 2 is about preparing for exams with, for instance, Q&A sessions or exam preparation sessions. And the final step of the Cloud Certification Circle is all about scheduling and taking the exam. With the LLPA exam scheduling and reporting services in step 3, we know who does which exam and when. And this way we can provide detailed information to the stakeholders at your company, providing some kind of justification of the investment. The Skills Academy portals I just mentioned, they form the backbone in our LLPA Cloud Certification Circle. And Skills Academy is an online multi-vendor skilling platform which can be used to quickly close the skills gap and prepare your workforce for the future. It's a white label platform with official Microsoft content. For instance, the MS Learn content is accessible through Skills Academy, and it also provides powerful reports on usage and student progress. And using the Skills Academy platform, you can prepare your workforce for the current but also the future roles, and also drive certification of those people. And this results in a strong learning culture where long life learning becomes the standard, and all meant to keep your people up to date. And eventually this improves your growth and your revenue. Well, the services I mentioned are all available through our members in their respective countries, and they are your true advisors in the learning journey of your organization. So let me introduce you to the people in this panel discussion. George Lopez from Rumors, Portugal, Kristina Raciu from Bitnet, Romania, Jan Zvorak from Gopas, Czechia and Slovakia, Savarula Hashim from Trainocade, Sri Lanka, and Marika Kotola from Sovelto, Finland. And they will share their experiences with Michael and with all of you. And I wish you all a great session.
Patrick, thank you very much indeed. I mean, this Global Cloud Skills V-Tour is just already proving to be an absolute joy to be involved in, and thank you. And to our panelists, thank you for taking time out of your extremely busy schedules to be able to join in with us. You know, we have half an hour to run through in terms of questions, and I've got a lot to ask you, as you'll imagine. Perhaps what I can do is start with Marika first and foremost, as an executive advisor from Sovelto Oyj in Finland. You know, Marika, I know you've got an absolute passion for learning as a life skill and a lifestyle. You've also been in the edtech industry now for a long time, coming up for 15 years. What do you believe, Marika, are the 2 top training trends now? And how are leading training organizations like your own adapting to them?
So thank you, Michael. And we have been living in the middle of change ourselves for a few years now. And so we have been studying a lot what the training with our customers should be and how it is evolving. And we have found out that the traditional and the formal training is somewhat inefficient. It's slow, it's never on time, or it's too expensive. So I believe that the biggest trend here is that we need to start with our customers, create an engaging learning culture. And when we are building this kind of learning culture system, so we need to change ourselves, of course, a lot. And in the good learning culture, there is a few secret sauces. So you need to drive your students' growth mindset, because we need to give everybody license to learn. And people are open to new skills when there is this license to learn. And a very big part of this learning culture is also the continuous learning, how to implement the everyday learning needs with a learning partner to this learning culture. So this is something that we see is a very growing trend at the moment. And when building a learning culture, it creates a total new way of working with your customers. So we need to be there with our customers, supporting, of course, those formal learnings, as well as supporting the social part of the learning. And what we have done here at Sovelto in Finland, we have absolutely redesigned our learning offering. So we are now offering our customers total new set of skilling opportunities. We call them Sovelto Pro, which is for technical people, and then there is Sovelto Leader, which is for team leaders, as well as Sovelto Easy, which is for end users. And using this is that we are able to be in our students' life almost daily. This is the trend number one, so continuous learning. But then the other one is more individual based, and it is to concentrate on the learning skill. So we believe that learning skill has become a new superpower. We all should have it. We all should have the hunger to learn. And what we have done, so we have combined learning coach services, like you have a personal trainer at Zoom when you go there and you need to get things done. Then we have a learning coach for our customers. And then there is the community support, because we believe that all the greatest learning happens when you are doing it together with other people. And you need to have the opportunity to reflect your learnings and have feedback also how you are doing. So I believe that learning partners who are middle of this big transformation and giving out cloud technology trainings need to face the fact that we need to be on the customer's life every day. So these two trends I see the most raising here, at least in the Nordic countries at the moment.
I love that. Thank you for that answer. And let's jump across, if we may, now to Christina, the CEO of Bitnet in Romania. So from Finland, we move across to Romania. Christina, what I'd like to ask you about first and foremost is that, there is so much online content available at the moment, and some of it's free. So why is instructor-led training still so prevalent?
That is a great question. So happy to get this one, because I really, really believe a lot in instructor-led training. To be fully honest, probably the mix between the two of them is something that really, really supports you reaching the goals. But we've been so cast away in the past 1.5 years, and we've been living at home, and the digital era has been so much accelerated, even in the eastern part of the world where we live, that we need connection. And as Marika said before, we learn better when we learn together and when we can exchange ideas. So instructor-led training is something that everybody's looking to go back to, but in class, because currently everybody's delivering it online. And it's great because it allows you to get real-time feedback, to ask questions. You can connect with people that work in the same industry. I mean, think about it. You have an instructor with you in the room and knows all the specifics of the industry you're working in. You can ask questions about the industry that you're working in, something that you cannot do when you go through online content. Then, there's this metrics around going around saying online content gives you somewhere around probably 20% completion rate. When you go to an instructor-led class, you will finish the class because you're there, you're supported, you're helped to finish the class. And then I think one of the great things about this is a lot of the training that is instructor-led is official training most of the times. So the instructor there already has the expertise to give you details about certification to help you achieve the certification, something that you would not get in an online content. So it's fast, it's real-time feedback, it's dynamic, and it's a community in the end that supports your learning.
Lovely. Thank you for that, Christina. Now, if we may, let's jump over from Europe over to Sri Lanka now, because Zafarullah is with us from Trainercate in Sri Lanka. Zafar, lovely to have you with us as well. Thank you for joining the panel. In that same vein, Zafar, if I may, what can training providers, do you believe, offer organizations that supports their digital business transformation?
Yep. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for having me on the panel. And hello, everyone. So training providers are more or less the bridge between the principal vendors and the organization, especially in skilling up role-based workforce on the vendor-based software products. So they help organizations analyze the skill gap by modes of assessments to identify the current position, understand their digital transformation journey, and also they could also guide them with the training modules required or the roadmap towards a particular role-based program in order to achieve the set goals. So, and it's always better to train the in-house staff. It's more efficient and more cost-effective too, because they are one thing, they're used to the culture of the organization rather than getting someone from outside and getting them trained and getting them the organization cultural importance. Similarly, I would also like to reiterate, like training actually provides knowledge, and that knowledge actually provides confidence, which basically translates more into more efficient and successful digital business transformation process. Yeah.
Lovely, thank you for that. And what I'd like to do is bring in your colleague now, also joining us on the panel, Jan, who's the Chief Operation Officer of Gopas, Czechia and Slovakia, and also the President of the Czech chapter of the International Association of Microsoft Channel Partners. Jan, I'd love to stay with the same theme for you as well and get your understanding, sir, if I may, of why organizations should partner with an accredited training partner. There have been suggestions in other areas where it could be an antiquated means to address the skills gap.
I'm definitely a big fan of the old school traditional authorized training, and as was mentioned already by Christina and also Marika, only with authorized training center, you have 100% guarantee that you will get the knowledge you're really looking for. You have the certified trainers, the best one, very experienced with a great feedback, which is monitored by the vendor, actually by Microsoft. You have the iLabs, you have very well done content of the training, you have the Azure passes, you have very well done materials. So it definitely makes a sense. So if you're looking for a training partner, always go for authorized one, definitely.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. Let's bring in your colleague, George, as well to join us on the panel now, a director from Rumos in Portugal. George, you believe, obviously, that organizations still value certification. Why would you say that? And as a second part to that question, why do you think learning leaders in organizations should seriously consider the train to certification ratio?
Hello, Michael. Thank you very much for being part of this panel, and hello, everyone. Certification is definitely something really valuable and important. Patrick already mentioned, and everybody before me, this skilling journey, this long life learning journey that we are talking about as an important issue that organizations and people, individuals should consider now in their lives. So certification is just one part of this journey. It's one part of this skilling journey that we all need to have, and I see it as the validation part. So certification is the step in this journey that really validates that you have the knowledge and the skills that are appropriate for a specific job role. And another thing that is also important is certifications. In this case that we are talking about with Microsoft are standard. So the same certification is valid in Portugal, in Sri Lanka, in Romania, in Finland, in Netherlands, or in Czech Republic. It's a standard. So this way, individuals can apply for jobs anywhere in the world. Actually, now it's even more easy, with this remote work. And also organizations can also hire people from anywhere in the world, because as long as they have a certification, you have a guarantee that they have this kind of knowledge. And finally, another thing that is also important for organizations and for the people is that certification is, especially for individuals, is seen as a value, as an asset. So this is an asset for the people that have them, to value their knowledge, their skills, and also for organizations that do need certified people that have the skill to perform their job roles. I hope I have answered your question.
Most certainly. Thank you very much indeed. You mentioned Sri Lanka there as well. Let's jump back and bring in Zafar from Sri Lanka. In the light of what everybody said, you're going to tell us, Zafar, that it's absolutely essential to work with accredited training providers. Just give me your top reasons why quickly, sir, if you would.
So I've got a couple of pointers that I think about especially when Patrick and Jan was stating about the certified and authorized certifications to certified trainers. So what I believe is that authorized training and or accredited training partners are quite essential, especially on this ecosystem, right? Because that brings out some sort of credibility, and also that we are answerable as the authorized training partner to some sort of a big brother, whether it's Microsoft, Oracle, AWS, Google, or whoever. We are actually answerable, and we need to have those certain standards in place. So what, as an accredited training partner, what we have is more or less like certified instructors who happen to evaluate themselves and take certification and stay updated. And similarly, like high quality vetted, constantly updated and relevant content. Right, that's something. And also, when you take TrainerKate in Sri Lanka, what we do is since online trainings it has become kind of monotonous. People do have a bit of a what do you call a restraint, especially. So what we do is we do not give an attendance certificate unless you have 70% attendance. So that's some sort of quality that we try and hold on to. And also accredited training centers are recognized by government institutions, especially when it comes to funding programs and stuff. They always look for an accredited or an authorized training partner. Similarly, getting onto the official labs, qualified counselors. So these are some of the pointers that I would like to more or less focus on and why they should. And I do agree with Jan and Patrick that they should look for an accredited partner. Yeah, thanks.
Zafar, thank you very much indeed. Marika, I'm going to jump back to you now, if I may, and just changing tack slightly, thinking about the job roles of today. I know my son has just studied something at university that I don't even understand what he studied, but thinking about the job roles of the day, a lot of certifications are designed for job roles of today. What are some of the most popular or top roles in your region as we look across, say, Finland and Northern Europe?
Well, first I need to say that the way that Microsoft, for example, is now designing the certification program is brilliant, because we need to have something to tie it on when we are measuring our transformation, and certification is the best tool to do that. And when we are doing this tech intensity transformation at the moment, we see that we need to build the baseline first, and we need to start with fundamentals. And therefore, the topmost popular certification is certainly Azure Fundamentals here in Finland, for example, because you need to have a very good and solid ground where to build those more technical roles. And then, of course, when you are driving your business to cloud and you are moving there, you need to have, of course, the developers as well as admins. And then, of course, the data is very important part of, so there is the data engineers as well as the data and analytics persons. And after you have finished this, then it comes to architect roles, and you need to have also the proven skills for that also. So I mentioned these at the moment.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. And, clearly the direction that we're going in, and I love the way this program and the platform has come together, because obviously looking at employee skills and measuring their results is of paramount importance. So, Christina, let me bring you in here, if I may, and ask, in terms of a working skills plan, why do you think it's important, if not essential, for working skills plans to be in place?
There's a saying in my country, the fastest way to get to a destination is the one that you know, or that you already know. So with this, of course, planning becomes essential when you want to save time eventually and reach your goals in a safe way. Of course, once you are able to sit down and put a skills plan in place, it actually allows you to save budget. Because when you do that, the consultant you're working with, the learning partner that you're working with, can really support you find means to cover a lot of the costs involved with training and certifications. There's skilling campaigns that support you to really adapt your budget and make sure either you train a specific amount of students and save money for other type of trainings, or double the amount of students that you train. It also allows you to track the progress and see the results that you have. And eventually, for example, we work with our customers to build reports on investment and really understand the commitment you made and where you are in 6 months after you started. One thing, if I may, of course, skills is extremely important, but I would like to offer one important advice, which is build the skill in a learner-centric way. So make sure that when you build the skill plan, you involve the learner as well, because it's going to help you reach the results faster and, in a more committed way.
I love that. We seem to have a marginal problem in terms of transmission there, but let me just repeat that for you, because building an inclusive skills plan with the employees is going to be absolutely vital. So, Christina, thank you for that. We've got time on our panel for just a couple more questions. So let me swing back over to Jan, if I may. And Jan, let me ask you, in terms of retaining great talent, what, in your opinion, Jan, would the number one factor be in helping to play a part in retaining solid talent?
So you say now number one. So if you didn't mean money, so there are some others. So of course we always say the best way how to retain your best talents is to invest in them. And of course you cannot expect anything else from us. The best investment, of course, is training. Because if you train your employees, they are getting more knowledge, you can help them grow. And if they are growing in your company, so they're definitely more happy and it's much easier to retain them. So definitely invest in them, and the best investment is training. That's it.
I love that. But you said there were others as well. What did you have in mind? Beyond, I mean, I love what you're saying. It's fantastic. Where else would you go with that? In
Some other
terms of
benefits.
the other factors to retain great talent? Invest in the
Of
people,
course.
certainly. Where else would you go, sir?
Of course, it's a company's culture. It's some other benefits. It's not just all about the money. It's also some another adding value. So that's it. But as I said already, best investment in your talents, training. That's it.
Brilliant. Jan, thank you for that. George, let me turn to you then, if I may, for a final question before I'll ask Patrick just to pop in and give us his overall comments in a second or two. But as a final question, George, what do you recommend, sir, would be the strategic steps in avoiding a talent pipeline issue?
When you talk about talent pipeline, I see two directions. It's a two-folded strategy, if you want. In the first place, we all know where we are now with the pandemic that lasts already for more than 1 year, and that affected everybody in the world globally, and it's a big issue. It will be still a big issue in the future. And one of the challenges I see coming already, and that was already there in the past, is the need to reskill people, especially people with no real IT or digital skills. So we need to have these basic digital and programming skills, if you want, that can target these individuals that are having now problems, probably unemployed or with lack of skills. And we know that the industry, with all these changes that we've been talking about, with these digital transformation journeys that companies are now facing, they need skilled people. So one thing would be certainly this reskill to build up this talent pipeline. The other thing will be also thinking about upskilling and longer skilling programs that we have here in Portugal, and I believe we have everywhere around the world, and in our LLPA members. It's about skilling people coming out of the university programs that already have all these major digital skills, but need to get further, as Mariko was saying before when she told about these new trends in terms of training. She told about data science and AI and machine learning and things like cybersecurity. There are a number of topics that need to be taught to these youngsters that are now ending their university degrees, that will enable them to work in the future in the current new job roles, and even in the future job roles that we cannot even now anticipate that will exist in the future.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. Let me bring Patrick back in just for a final comment. As you said in your intro, Patrick, the LLPA has developed a set of learning services that are perfectly poised to deliver across all of these aspects as well. Your final thoughts, just to wrap up for us, Patrick, in 30 seconds or so?
Where do you want me to get started? There's so many things I could say, and so many very true points that were mentioned by these people. And if I talk, if I say about the accredited learning and the certified trainers, the thing that George just mentioned, people need to reskill, development. We need programmers. We need people who know about security, and that's all covered by the great services that we all have in the group of LLPA, this great group of members with members from all over the world. And I think I want to highlight a couple of things that were mentioned. I really like the continuous learning command, of course, because that's something we need to keep doing. We need to keep being fit for the future, because job roles, they change with what we experience in the real world. They change with technology. So we need to keep learning. And I think all of us agree that a combination of online learning, where you have the flexibility, and the real-time training with an instructor, where you can ask questions, but also where you can connect socially with peers, is very important. And then, of course, that needs to be done by accredited official training partners, because that they have the credibility, and they have the trainers that know about the technology, and they have the latest information. So there's many more things I want to mention, because there's so many good commands, and I'm very, very happy with this session. But I think we're lacking more time for that.
We are indeed, and we're going to have to call it time on the panel discussion. So thank you to Marika, Christina, Zafa, Jan, and George, as well as yourself, Patrick. Wow, this is just flying by, and I hope you're enjoying the Global Cloud Skills V-Tour as much as I am, and our panelists are as well. As George says, there's lots more to come, but listen, don't rush away, except for now. We're going to take a short 5-minute break, and we'll be back with you at the top of the hour. It's only a short break, so it's a comfort break, time to grab yourself a glass of water, do whatever you need to do, but be back with us at the top of the hour. Thank you very much indeed.